I mean, I could say a friend. Tonight on UI7 News, the graduate employee organization and the university have been in negotiations today, voting on a proposed deal. We will have their reactions and more.
UI7's Anaja Smith talks to a family who has been affected by the opioid crisis here in Illinois.
Also, we get a first look at how Samson the service dog is breaking down barriers for many service dogs like him.
UI7 News starts now.
From the Richmond Journalism Teaching Studio at the University of Illinois campus, UI7 News, your U of I news source.
Hello, I'm Ryan Wilson, and welcome to today's edition of UI7 News.
And I'm Bianca Reyes. Today could be the day the GEO and university reach a deal. Stay tuned throughout this show for the latest information.
Members of the Graduate Employee Union are voting at this hour on whether to accept the tentative agreement that was reached today.
Kane Walters has been closely following this story and has this report.
Going on campus for 11 days now. I talked to university spokesperson Robin Taylor about the offer that was on the table from the administration.
The current offer would give people at the minimum a 3% raise in the first year of the contract and 1.5% raises each of the next 4 years. And then returning students would get 3% in the first year, and then the campus wage program in the subsequent years.
That offer was where bargaining began here yesterday at 9 a.m. This is where the bargaining session actually took place. While the bargaining was taking place, the strike continued on the quad. I also asked Taylor what type of stuff still had to be discussed.
I think we still have substantive things to talk about.
The bargaining session went through the night last night. Yesterday the session was in multiple rooms, but this morning when I checked in, this room that was being used yesterday was dark. A tentative agreement was reached sometime today between 11 and 11:30. I spoke with GEO Media Liaison Ashley Anda about what the next step is.
We will lay out the proposal to the members and take a vote, and we're not sure how long that meeting will last yet.
That vote was scheduled for 4 p.m. today, and there was no indication how long the meeting would last. Reporting in Champaign, Kane Walters, UI7 News.
Voting by GEO members is scheduled for today and tomorrow. For now, the strike has been suspended. If the members agree to ratify the offer, the strike will come to an end and the GEO will have a new contract. If they reject this agreement, the strike will continue. We have UI7's Jessica Watson here with us in studio. She just got off the phone with the GEO to learn more about exactly what is going on in this agreement. Jessica, what else can you tell us?
Thank you, Bianca. I just got off the phone with Ashley Anda, who is the communications director for GEO, and she just informed me about what we are seeing in this contract right now. So they are having their tuition waivers are now guaranteed, and they cannot be changed within the departments, which is what they were looking for, as well as there is now, if a GA appointment is late, they can file a claim and then receive a $50 compensation, as well as they're looking at a 4.5 wage increase this next year, and then the year after that will be a 2% increase, and the year after that a 2%. From the years after that, they will have renewed negotiations to see what wages should be at that time. And then for their insurance has gone up 7% from 80% to 87% for coverage for them, as well as they have a 25% increase for one dependent on their insurance claim as well. So those are quite a few of the complaints that they were looking at in the previous contract, and hopefully this vote will commence and we will have an end to the strike. We will not know, however, until 7 p.m. tomorrow whether or not they will sign and agree to these terms. I got the opportunity to speak and see them celebrating on the quad earlier today, and let's take a look at what we have at hand.
Today, I stepped in that building for the first time in 2 weeks. It's been 2 weeks since I've taught my classes.
This morning, after hours of bargaining with the administration, the Graduate Employees Organization bargaining team signed a tentative agreement with the university.
I'm very excited to vote. You can hear my voice is going, you know, we're going to be out here for as long as we have to, and if we don't ratify this contract, we'll be back on Monday, but, you know, all of us are hoping for the best tonight.
Behind me, the GEO is rallying together after 2 weeks of striking. An agreement has been proposed, and tonight is up for a vote.
If it's fair, if it includes guaranteed tuition waivers for all people who do TA and GA work, then that will be a plus. I do trust the bargaining team, so I trust that they've got something good cooked up for us.
3 nights ago, the GEO began occupying the president's office in the Henry Administration Building, pushing the admin to work on a fair contract for the graduate students. Today and tomorrow, the whole union will review the tentative contract and vote on the agreement. Asena Akar is a member of the GEO and cannot wait to teach again.
When I took world religions as an undergrad, it was one of my favorite classes, and so since I love the class myself, I'm so ecstatic that I get to be able to teach it to other students.
Sarah Stern, an undergraduate student, has been out striking and supporting the graduate students the past 2 weeks.
All they want to do is teach. That's why they came here, and so to see them have to be outside of the classroom, away from their students, not even able to answer any emails or concerns of them, like, just completely goes against like what they came here to do.
The voting will go on for hours, and shortly we will find out if the strike will resume or if the GEO will return to teaching their classes. From UI7 News, I'm Jessica Watson.
All right, thanks so much, Jessica. Now we'll turn to our chief meteorologist, Kane Walters, for a quick update about the weather. Kane?
Yeah, Ryan, it's pretty cold out there, and we even saw some snow earlier.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did. It seems pretty inconsistent.
Yeah, and I'll have more of a full forecast later on in the show.
Sweet deal. And after the break, we'll take a quick look at the opioid problem plaguing Illinois.
And Pup Next, we'll tell you how a dog ended up in a biology lab.
Everything starts out small. The things that hurt us, they all start from somewhere. The words we say, the things we do, they can grow into something else. What was small and innocent can become big and sometimes scary. All it takes is one comment, one picture, one video for something to catch fire. But a big problem doesn't need a big response. Not at first. Even if we don't know what to say, the eye emoji can be that first step we take. Let's all pledge to take that first small step together and change the world in a big way. I'm a witness, and so are you.
Bye-bye.
Hi. Hoping for a crisp breeze to help keep you alert. Oh, he took a sip of water too. That'll probably help.
You were probably going to turn down the radio too, so you could focus, right?
Probably okay isn't okay.
Right?
If you see a warning sign, stop and call a cab, a car, or a friend.
I think the water line is what really drove it home. I blew on him.
This Friday, we're filling in our brackets with GMI. This blue-haired fan has been cheering the Illini for the past 4 years. We were there for his last game.
And if that isn't enough, we're going to tell you where to find the best pad thai on campus.
Plus, one of our seniors is crossing off an item on their bucket list.
We have planned another full half hour for you this Friday.
Join us live at 9 a.m. by streaming us on YouTube.
And you can see highlights and all of our segments on Facebook.
Good morning, Illini.
In Illinois, Illinois, opioid and heroin usage among young adults is on the rise. UI7's Anaja Smith visits Vineyard Church to learn more about the crisis from those that have been affected directly.
I was planning my wedding. I couldn't even have him stand up in my wedding because I honestly didn't believe he'd be alive for it.
Executive Director of Your Choice, Ashley Nowakowski, sits on stage with her parents to explain how her brother Tyler fell victim to drug use. Over the years, her family found the best way to cope was to learn about addiction. According to the Illinois Department of Human Services, or IDHS, in 2016, over 1,800 people overdosed and died from the substances. This is a 32% increase from 2015 and also a 70% increase from 2013. Nowakowski thinks supporting those that are experiencing drug abuse is the first step to recovery.
It's much more than just stopping, and so once you start talking about it and people start judging you, then you kind of don't want to talk about it anymore. It's easier just to keep it in the closet.
With the rise in opioid and heroin addiction in young adults, law enforcement are keeping Narcans on them to supply patients that are overdosing with just a spray in their nostril.
The director of IDPH says the statewide standing order allows pharmacists and naloxone training programs in Illinois to provide naloxone, or Narcan for short, without a direct prescription to individuals at risk of an opioid overdose, as well as their family and friends, and to others who may assist an individual suffering opioid-related overdose. Lieutenant Brian Meninga describes the scenario in which using the Narcan is necessary.
If somebody's unconscious but breathing, they'll look for those signs, and there's other obvious signs if they see drugs that are out in the open.
Executive Director of Rosecrans Central Illinois, Chris Gleason, explains how being 30 years sober allows him to know firsthand the pain people have when using drugs.
We don't know who's an addict in the community, but most often they're the ones that are shunned.
In Champaign, I'm Anaja Smith, UI7 News.
Make an effort to fix this opioid issue in the state. Chief Deputy of the County Sheriff's Office, Alan Jones, gives us his perspective on what the solution should be.
On the law enforcement side, we want to find ways to encourage people to, if they're aware of somebody who's using or overdosing and they need treatment, to get them the medical help that they need, to refer them so they don't have to worry about getting arrested for saying, my friend's overdosed or they're high and they need some help. There's lots of programs that need to be explored. Partnerships with treatment agencies, law enforcement, courts, prosecution, public health, EMS, schools. It's all there. It just needs to start coming together.
If you know someone suffering from an opioid addiction or know of someone affected by this, the Sheriff's Office advises to contact help immediately.
Service dogs are an essential part of many people's lives. For Samson the service dog and his handler Joey, they are hoping to break down the walls for many service dogs and handlers to come.
Meet Samson. This is where he spends most of his time during a typical workday. His handler, Joey Ramp, is an undergraduate research assistant here at the U of I. It is imperative for Ramp that she is able to have Samson with her while she is at work, which is why she fought for the right to have Samson accompany her, making him the first service dog allowed in a biology lab as well as a research lab here at the U of I.
So when it came time to go into a research lab, a service dog had never been in a research lab here either. So we had to reach out to different faculty members, and I was fortunate enough that Dr. Rhodes saw potential in me and took us in, and we've been working in the lab since.
Secondary dog trainer here on campus, Mackenzie Allen, emphasizes how important having a service dog around is for their handler.
Because people don't want to rely on other people. So this is something that's with them for a great period of time, and significantly impacts them and makes everyday life easier.
Ramp works in the labs at the Beckman Institute. Lab manager Anastasia Sorokina shares how serious Samson takes his job.
He just kind of fits into the lab and fits into what we're doing without disrupting anything or interrupting anything.
Ramp lets Samson take a break from work to pay me a visit.
Service dogs here like Samson all have similar training, but they can be specialized to suit their handler's needs. Samson's handler, Joey, works in a lab, so he's able to sit and work in a lab for multiple hours per day.
Samson works so well in the lab that Ramp is waiting to get a study approved that will allow service dogs in labs that contain rodents.
So the study we want to run is to find out whether service dogs actually have an impact on rodent behavior or physiology. Easy.
While waiting for approval, Samson still continues to work hard every day.
Thank you so much.
And even though he loves working, Ramp makes sure he still takes a break to play, or even take himself for a walk. In Urbana, I'm Kelly Rice, UI7 News.
What a great story. After the break, Kane Walters will be back for his forecast for the upcoming week.
And later, Kelly Walker has the latest news with Illini sports, including a big change to come to Illini hockey.
Listen, I've realized that I'm not perfect. I really started to change because you judge me for having a problem. No one is going to know that I need help. I need help. I know that no one is going to judge me for having a problem. I realize that I'm not perfect, but it all really started to change because you listened.
Did you hear about the pony with a sore throat? He was a little horse. Can I tell you a cat joke? Just kidding. Why couldn't the Wait. Why was the basketball court all wet? Why? Because the players kept dribbling all over it. Where did cats go on vacation? New York.
What to expect when you're expecting
Like here.
a teenager.
Today, I'm going to show you how to teen-proof your home. First step, hide the car keys. Preferably somewhere they would never look. Challenges will come up. Be ready for them. Hi, honey.
Ready for the... Mom, you don't use mannequins in the mannequin challenge.
You don't have to know it all to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
This week is Severe Weather Preparedness Week. While tornadoes can occur at many times throughout the year, March marks the beginning of the tornado season in central Illinois. Today we have a special guest, Dr. Jim Angel, here to discuss more on the beginning of the tornado season. Dr. Angel, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Now with the weather changing, snowing earlier today, we saw some sun, now it's cold, still cold, but climate changing and tornado season, how does climate change connect, or does it connect with storms and tornadoes?
That's a good question. You know, we're trending towards milder conditions, milder winters and hotter summers and overall wetter conditions. The jury's still out on the tornado side of it. There's the computer models don't quite have enough resolution to really understand those at that level, but I think probably what's going to happen is we get milder conditions, we're going to have a longer tornado season. So we might see more tornadoes during what we would normally now call the off season, like in November and December and so forth. But so far, the number of tornadoes hasn't changed that much in Illinois, although they seem to be happening more often in clumps or clusters than they used to.
Awesome. And you know, what kind of precautions can we take here in Champaign to kind of prepare ourselves for this tornado season we have?
That's right. So the first thing is to be aware of the forecast. So as you guys do here, also be aware of your surroundings. So know where the safe places are in your building or where you work or school and so forth. And also most of the deaths and injuries occur in that mid-afternoon to early evening time frame when everybody's in transition. They're getting off work, they're getting out of school. So that's really the dangerous time to be exposed to tornadoes, and that's when they happen to occur most often during the day. So be very aware and be able to seek shelter, and usually in a building. A solid building is your best bet by far.
Yeah, so with the climate changing and kind of hard to tell how climate change goes with tornadoes, but what have the statistics shown as far as the frequency of tornadoes throughout the year?
So if you look at the numbers in Illinois, and we're pretty typical of the Midwest, about 2/3 of our tornadoes occur between March, April, May, and June, so those 4 months. But we do have outside of that. So we've had tornadoes in November, December, January, and February, so it really can happen anytime. Anytime you get weather that's on the warm side, like in the 50s or 60s or 70s, you can have tornadoes.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much again for joining us here today. It's been very insightful. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
We've seen snow, we've seen sun, and we've seen snow while it's sunning. Kane Walters is going to try to help us figure out what is happening with weather today.
Good evening, Champaign-Urbana. Let's take a look at your weather. Currently here in Champaign-Urbana, we have 30 degrees, with Danville coming in the warmest for the local temperatures at 33 degrees. Looking at the Midwest temperatures, the warmest right now is Paducah, Kentucky at 41 degrees. Everywhere else is mid to low 30s. Looking nationally, if you go down to Miami for spring break, we have 72 degrees. If you go to New York, they're currently setting at 38 degrees. Denver would be a little warmer at 63 degrees. And for tonight's forecast, we have a low of 22. It'll be pretty chilly out there with winds out of the northwest at 5 to 8 miles an hour. So if you go out, you might want to bundle up. For tomorrow, we have a high of 41 with partly sunny skies, winds out of the west at 5 miles an hour. Looking at the 5-day forecast, we will have sun today and tomorrow. The sun will go away for Saturday and Sunday, but temperatures will still remain in the 40s as we have a high of 46 on Saturday, 43 on Sunday. The sun will come back out on Monday, but we will still have a high of only 43 degrees.
Thank you so much, Kane. That was very insightful. As we've told you, this is the start of Severe Weather Preparedness Week. The University of Illinois was awarded its Storm Ready certification this past Wednesday by the National Weather Service. Their certification was given due to the university's extensive preparation efforts to protect campus when severe weather strikes. Adequate storm shelters, formal emergency plans, and multiple ways to notify campus community members of life-saving information are all criteria needed to achieve the certification.
While Champaign may have seen bursts of snow today, the East Coast had over a foot of snowfall in a nor'easter storm that started yesterday. The storm has canceled flights, schools closed, and power lines have crashed across the area. A winter storm warning was issued in New England this morning. And Kelly Walker is here now to tell us what's coming up in sports. Pretty big news today, huh?
Yes, it is. The university is taking another step towards adding another varsity sports. But first, Isaiah Martinez is representing the wrestling team at the NCAA Championship. All this and more after the break.
What to expect when you're expecting a teenager.
Hey guys, today we're talking about how to wake up your teen, and this works literally every time.
Give kisses. Give kisses. Look. Give kisses. Give kisses.
You heard how loud that was.
I know, I
sleep
heard,
through that.
I heard. It wasn't you.
Yeah.
It was the...
Is that bacon?
You don't have to know it all to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
Bacon.
Families come in all sizes and shapes. Sometimes your friends are your family by choice, or sometimes you're just stuck with Uncle Charles. But what we know is that you want to protect the people that are close to you. But the flu can unravel everything. Your flu vaccine protects you and your family. No matter what draws your family together, protect yourself, protect your family. Everyone needs a flu vaccine.
Good morning, Illini.
Hey, good morning, Illini, and selamat pagi.
Good morning, Illini.
The University of Illinois took a giant step towards adding a Division I hockey team to its list of varsity sports. The detail of the feasible study that began back in June of 2017 were released this morning, and it found that, quote, NCAA men's hockey will flourish at the University of Illinois. Director of Athletics Josh Whitman held a press conference earlier today to discuss the findings of the study. The study covered a range of topics and found that the university can handle the overall cost of the program, which would sit around $31 million.
It's a couple things. One, this idea that hockey could be incredibly successful here at the University of Illinois. I think we all suspected that, but to have an objective party come in and evaluate it and confirm that suspicion. And then also digging into the numbers, understanding a little better what some of that would look like in terms of not just the expense side, but also the potential revenue side.
The new ice rink that is being built in downtown Champaign was recommended as the site for the team's home games. If the timeline in the study is followed, Illinois will be playing in a First Division I hockey game in October of 2020. Currently, the men's hockey team are leaving this season with 9 wins and are looking for another win as they will compete in the ACHA National Tournament. Senior Eric Krusenk expressed his excitement for the upcoming tournament.
It's always fun when you know you're going to a rink where it's going to be loud, it's going to be rowdy, and it's more of a motivation for me personally, and I'm sure most of the guys. It's a fun place to play, and it's just like playing here, except for they're against you and not with you.
The ACHA tournament takes place in Columbus, Ohio today. Another Big Ten event happening today is the 2018 NCAA Indoor Track and Field Championships. 2 final lineup members that are competing are senior David Kinzira and sophomore John Davis. Kinzira will have a chance at a win after placing 4th in last year's championship with a personal record of 7.76. And he earned a spot for today's championship by reaching his personal best again at the Big Ten Indoor Championship, earning a silver medal. Sophomore John Davis will compete tomorrow, making his second appearance after winning the 3K race in 2017. Davis earned his spot for the championship with a personal best that broke the university's record earlier this month at the Big Ten's championship, earning him the runner-up placement. The Fighting Illini football team may not have finished with the best record of 2 wins out of a 12-game season, but that isn't stopping Coach Lovie Smith from being excited about the new changes.
Every year is different. Yeah, you have goals, and we all set out with the same goals to win all our games and play a certain way. You do that. But when there are major changes like we have, when you talk offensively, we're changing a new system coming in. It's important. Every day is important. Every rep is important.
Some of those new faces include new offensive and defensive staff members, but also incoming freshman quarterbacks Karan Taylor and MJ Rivers. The Fighting Illini have multiple issues in the quarterback department this season with former quarterbacks Chase Crouch and Jeff George Jr. But it was the rising sophomore Cam Thomas who gave the team hope for a better offense this upcoming season. Spring practices will continue until the 7th of April, which the final practice is open to the public. A fellow Fighting Illini that is recognized as Athlete of the Week is none other than Isaiah Martinez. Martinez won a 2016 Big Ten title, defeating Penn State's Jason Knoth in the final. He returned to defend his Big Ten title against another Penn State wrestler, Vincenzo Joseph. After defeating Joseph, he became the 16th wrestler to win 4 Big Ten titles, but he is the first Fighting Illini to accomplish it. He will have another chance to pin a win under his belt next week in Cleveland, Ohio, as he competes in the NCAA Championship on March 15th. That's all we have for sports. Back to you.
Thank you, Kelly. We also have breaking news just now that North Korean leader Kim Jong-un has invited President Donald Trump to meet and offer to suspend nuclear weapons.
All right, thank you so much, Bianca, for the update. That's all we have for tonight's UI7 News. Thank you so much for joining us.
For more of our stories, please follow us on Facebook and Twitter or subscribe to our YouTube page. We'll be back next Thursday with another edition of UI7 News.
Have a good night.